Hello everyone, this is Joel Davis with the United Medical Transportation Providers Group. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, I encourage you to watch the entire video as this is a very important message. This actually serves as a more in-depth follow-up to the conversations we've been having on the umtpg.org. In the event you've missed some of those recent posts, I encourage you, visit us at umtpg.org. Go to In the News and start to read some of those articles. I'm going to have a lot more information coming out in the coming weeks and months, and I'm going to post a lot of it right there in the News section of umtpg.org. I also want to start by thanking so many of you who have been reading my articles and posting and sharing your information with us. We are gathering information from hundreds and thousands of providers around the country. This is absolutely critical because you actually are serving as the backbone to what we're doing. As I mentioned in some of those articles back in February, the UMTPG was very honored and when we were invited to go to Washington, D.C. to serve as a large consortium of exceptionally smart people. We were in the room with 20 plus people who from very diverse backgrounds and experience in the NEMT and paratransit space. Incredibly smart. I couldn't have been more excited and enthusiastic about what we're doing. Since then, we've had meetings around the country and conference calls, and we are continuing to just dive in and attack a very unique model that's going to literally revolutionize the NEMT and paratransit space. There's no other way to categorize this other than revolutionary. I wish I could share more in-depth strategies specifically of what we're doing, tactical strategies, but because of multiple signed NDAs, I can't right now, but in the very near future, especially as things become more and more relevant, I will share more and more information about the tactical strategies that we're doing. But again, I want to thank you, all you providers out there, the hundreds of you so far who've come to our website, umtpg.org, and shared your information. Many of you know I am literally picking up the phone and calling you. I'm calling you because we need your help as we literally build this national movement. To give you an idea and to kind of recap of what I've shared in those articles, we really have a top-down and a bottom-up strategy to revolutionize the NEMT and paratransit space. It's a phenomenal opportunity. I couldn't be more excited to be a part of it, as are many of the providers who were literally picking up the phone, calling, and bringing on board. So the UMTPG is really focused on the bottom-up strategy. That's why we're contacting all the providers. As we've shared with the consortium, there are three paramount goals with what we're trying to do to revolutionize the NEMT and paratransit space. First goal is to reduce costs to our providers. As I've always said in my materials, especially for those of you who've studied and worked with me, one of the easiest way to make money is to save money, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We have very unique multi-level strategies to bring down the overall expenses to our providers. The easiest way to make money, save money. So we're going to bring down your recurring expenses. The second paramount strategy that we're working to implement is to not only increase, but diversify your sources of revenue. This is key. Now, as I further unfold this video and much of our discussions on our in the news in the umtpg.org, you'll see that we're talking a lot about brokers because we didn't meet in Washington, D.C., and Portland, and Houston, and New York, and around the country to talk about the brokers. But because of our three key objectives, the brokers automatically become part of the discussion. The Medicaid broker model, from our opinion and our perspective, and much of the opinion and relationships with many of our providers, it is exceptionally antiquated. And I can promise you this, with what we're doing, it is absolutely, unconditionally going to revolutionize the Medicaid broker space. The way they do business is obsolete and antiquated, and it's going to be overhauled and it's going to be changed. So to recap quickly, the first objective is to reduce our provider expenses. The second is to grow and diversify the revenue sources for our transportation providers. The third is to literally secure those sources of revenue. For many of you who have done work with Medicaid brokers, whether it's Logisticare, MTM, Access to Care, Southeast Trans, or many of the other miscellaneous ones that are popping up all over the country, You know that when you wake up every day, you don't know, is Logistic Care going to use you? How many transports are they going to give you? Are they going to take any of them away? Are they going to hold anything over you had? We want you to not only increase and diversify your sources of revenue, we want you to be able to secure those. So as you build your business, you are literally building your business on a rock where you can predict where your sources of revenue are coming from, and you are strengthening those sources and securing those sources of revenue. The last thing you want to do is build your business and not know, is Logistic Care going to use me tomorrow? Is MTM going to use me tomorrow? And so you have to understand, the Medicaid broker model, for lack of better terms, is paramount to this discussion because brokers have nothing. Keep in mind, brokers have nothing. You as the transportation provider, you provide the work, you have the assets, you have the vehicles, the equipment, and literally the drivers that go out there and perform the actual transports. The brokers have nothing. So why do the brokers get between 70 and 80% of each transport, and you, the transportation provider, work to get 20, 30, 40% of the transport? With what we're doing with this large consortium is we literally are going to invert that entire Medicaid broker model. It will be completely inverted and overhauled. So as you sit here and you watch this video, you have to think to yourself, do the brokers want me to talk about this? Do the brokers want the providers to continue to unite? No, of course they don't. But again, as I've always said, there is strength in numbers. We've had a lot of success across the country in different areas. In Wisconsin in 2012, Logistic Care limped out of the state. They couldn't fulfill their contracts. They had to leave short of term under the cover of darkness. MTM came in. And trust me, these brokers, they want to keep the providers dumb and down, separate, and not communicating. That's why, as I've stressed to this consortium, and they fully understand, transportation industry, whether it's NEMT, paratransit, taxi, limo, anything, freight, it's all revolutionizing. It's changing. It's integrating. Things are rapidly changing. For as long as we are going to be an industrial society, transportation is the backbone of everything we do. The minute transportation stops, the economy stops. So long story short, transportation and our opportunity in the NEMT and paratransit is only continuing to grow and exponentially multiply. You factor in the fact that everything is moving towards managed care. You have the elderly population that's going to literally double by the year 2030. These industries are literally dripping with opportunity. But we do need revolutionary change. And as the board has come to understand, as the UMTPG really continues to share what's happening across the country with NEMT and paratransit providers, as everything changes in this transportation food chain, in my opinion, the opinion of us on the board, is it's the transportation provider who is being left out of this transportation food chain. Our goal is to empower the transportation provider. We believe a strong transportation provider will further increase standards across the board, better train employees. That's why it's key that we put more money into your pocket. How can we empower our transportation providers to keep more of their own money, increase and make more money through more diverse sources of revenue, and then secure those sources of revenue? So already, again, as you listen to my words now in this video, as you listen to my words, as you read our articles on the umtpg.org, you know that the brokers do not want to hear this message. The last thing they want are transportation providers coming together and communicating. That's why I strongly encourage you, visit us at umtpg.org. Submit your information to become a provider. We want your information. After we get your information, we're going to pick up the phone, we're going to call you, we're going to tell you how we're working with you and other providers in your area, in your state. This revolution on a macro scale is going to take time, but it's going to quickly build momentum and exponentially grow state by state. As I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, we have a top-down and a bottom-up strategy. Our top-down strategy, we have incredibly smart attorneys, venture capitalists, lobbyists. We are already in the process of putting together a national network from the very highest levels of government. We're already in the process of working on that. As I mentioned also, the UMTPG, we are at the ground working with the actual providers, working to unite our providers and bring them together. Again, with a top-down and a bottom-up approach, we ultimately put a squeeze on things like the Medicaid brokers. It's a pincher movement. For lack of better terms, it's like a pincher movement because we are working on a national and state level with different legislatures, lobbyists, legal sources of opportunity and recourse, as well as literally connecting with our transportation providers. So it is exceptionally exciting what we're doing. When we first formed the UMTPG back in 2010, we never thought something like this would be possible. Why? Because we knew it would take a lot of money, a lot of money. So, but how do you take on $1 billion business, or I'm sorry, $1 billion industry? How do you take them on and literally invoke revolutionary change? The way you do it, the way you take on $1 billion industry is with $1 billion pockets. And now with what we're doing with this board, with this consortium, is we literally have $1 billion venture capitalists coming in both domestically and internationally because they see the opportunity that is continuing to grow and the momentum is just exponentially growing. So especially in the NEMT and the paratransit space, we have some phenomenal opportunities that, again, I want to recap real quick. So phenomenal opportunities that are going to help you reduce your reoccurring expenses, priority number one. Priority number two, you, the provider, how can we grow and diversify your sources of revenue? And then number three, how do we secure those sources of revenue? So you don't wake up tomorrow worried, is a Medicaid broker going to take my money away? Are they going to reduce my transports because they found someone cheaper to go with? How can we empower and strengthen you? Because ultimately, it's the provider who is feeling the squeeze and the revolutionary change that's happening in the transportation food chain. So again, visit us at umtpg.org, submit your information, be patient with us because we literally, just in sharing those articles a matter of days and weeks ago, we've already had hundreds of people share their information, and I'm sure we're going to have many, many more. We already have a database of literally 10,000 plus, but we're really focused on the people who submit their information because we know they're the most serious and they're the most relevant. And we're working to find key players in key markets in key states. Because not only do we need your help in the short term, as this thing continues to build and grow and take hold and revolutionize the NEMT and paratransit space, we need key people like you in key places as we continue to build infrastructure. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I couldn't be more excited and enthusiastic. I've been in this industry since 1999 and 2000, and what's happening now is unlike anything I've seen over the last year. I mean, this is phenomenal what we're doing. This is the right place at the right time, and the reason why it's possible is because we have a group of exceptionally talented and diverse. And when I say diverse, I'm talking about people with phenomenal skill sets, phenomenal skill sets. I mean, the stuff that I saw with some of these guys and girls, I mean, it's phenomenal. They are absolute brainiacs. And if it's one thing I love, it's smart people who know their skill set and can leverage their skill set. And I couldn't be more excited about what's going on. So I definitely encourage you, visit us at umtpg.org, share your information, and become part of the revolution. What happened in 2012 with Logistic Care up in Wisconsin, I promise you, it is going to look like a skirmish compared to what's coming. So be excited, be enthusiastic, and get ready to make money because our industry is only continuing to grow, and now we are literally going to revolutionize this industry. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, I'll see you at the top.